Just because we want more in our life does not mean that we were born into a life that shows us that we are capable of achieving more. And a lot of times when we are a bigger dreamer, we want more in our life, because I know this from my experience. I've always wanted more than I've been exposed to. I had to learn to give myself permission to want more, to go after more, to allow myself to have more. Throughout this experience, I have learned that just because I was not exposed to more, or I didn't see anyone that gave me a clear path to achieving the more that I wanted, it didn't mean that it wasn't possible for me. Throughout the process of learning to choose myself again and again and going after things that I've never seen anyone go after before, my confidence was built through that action, and I started to naturally allow myself permission to keep having more. There are no limitations in life, and a lot of times the only limitations that we have are the ones that we put on ourselves, or the ones that people around us put onto us, whether that's family or friends or even the environment that we grew up in. A lot of it influences us, and it influences our ability to realize whether or not we can achieve certain things in our life. I was the first person in my family to break the cycle, to move away from everything that I've ever known, to basically force myself to see more in life. I wanted to expose myself to bigger things that were already happening, people who were already successful, achieving the things that I wanted. And throughout the process of allowing myself to do that, I've learned a lot about myself and just life in general. And it woke me up to this idea that a lot of truths that I've always been told, or that were heavily influenced onto me since a young age, were not necessarily mine to carry throughout life. And it was that exact mindset and those limitations that I constantly believed that were actually holding me back from living a life that fulfilled me, that I wanted for myself. And it was not until I gave myself that permission to choose differently in my life that I actually started to see the more that I wanted and realize that I was capable of achieving it also. We are truly a product of what we allow ourselves to believe in life. And if a lot of people around us did not influence us to really reach our own potential or realize what was truly possible for ourselves, it's hard for us to believe that until we give ourselves permission to pursue that life, even if we feel misunderstood, judged, or lost throughout the process of it. And when I started to give myself that permission to go after more, to learn to expose myself to the life that I truly wanted, I started to naturally release a lot of truths that were projected onto me or influenced onto me. And I naturally just started to develop the mindset of a person who is winning in life, who is successful, who is capable of achieving greater things. I grew up in a really small town, and honestly, I didn't see much. I didn't see many people living the life that I wanted for myself. And for a long time, it really made me question whether or not I was capable of achieving the things that I truly wanted, or if the life I dreamt about was just something that I was imagining. But over time, as I constantly just dreamt about achieving more for myself, going after bigger goals, allowing myself to have bigger dreams, the awareness has started to come to me that I needed to change my environment. I needed to expose myself to more. I needed to see other people that were already achieving and being successful at what I wanted in life. And that is exactly why I moved from a small town to Miami by myself. I wanted to live in a bigger city that truly showed me things that I'd never seen before, letting go of this idea that things were deemed as realistic. So, just the idea of me moving alone changed my perception of what was truly realistic in my life. And I realized that a lot of things weren't unrealistic. We're just not exposed to them. We don't see them happening. We don't see people achieving them or normalizing it for ourselves. And it wasn't until I started to normalize a lot of things that I truly wanted that I was now capable of waking up every single day and choosing that version of myself, because I was exposing myself to other people who were already doing the same. And now that I'm in an environment where people are going after bigger goals, making more money, becoming the highest version of themselves, guess what? I naturally started to show up as that version of myself. I started to wake up every single day and realize, how can I become a better version of myself? How can I become a match to what I want? How can I achieve more? How can I raise the bar? I don't want to be that person in an environment that is doing the most, because that means that I've grown and expanded as much as possible. I need exposure to the goals that I want to be achieving so that I realize that I can constantly level up as a person. And now that I'm in an environment where I feel like I'm one of those people that may be doing the least, it motivates me every single day. It makes me question whether or not I am approaching my life in the right way. How can I learn from the things around me? How can I study the successful people around me and show up as those people in my life so that I can achieve the same results? One of the biggest hacks to life is truly just putting yourself in a room full of people who are doing so much better than you. Because when you see more happening, you are going to give yourself the permission to also want more. One of the biggest things in the way of you and living out a life that you literally dream about is just your ability to give yourself permission to actually want that result. And once you give yourself that permission, I promise you everything is going to start aligning. You're going to start realizing the action that you need to take in order to get to where you want to be in your life. You're going to start to naturally release things that don't serve you anymore. You're going to start to put yourself in rooms, environments that start to naturally reflect the version of yourself that you are dreaming of becoming. And I'm going to be honest with you, this is not easy to do. It is not easy to be the first in your family to break the cycle, to be misunderstood, to be judged, to go after differently. But it is so rewarding. And honestly, when you allow yourself to do that, you are breaking generational patterns in your life. I did this for myself. I did it for my family. I wanted to go after more. And that meant taking that sacrifice, realizing that my dream life came at a cost. It came at the cost of letting go of everything that I've ever known, letting go of the familiar, letting go of this identity that I've always had, no longer accepting the truths that have been influenced onto me. I had to be willing to reinvent myself, put myself in a brand new environment that was already reflecting the life that I desire to have for myself. And the majority of the time, a lot of what we want for ourselves, what we are dreaming about, is not off limits. We just may not be exactly around it. We may not be exposed to it. We may not see those results happening in real time, but it is a game changer to place yourself in the environment where the life you are dreaming of building is already happening. People are already going after it. A lot of what comes down to aligning to more in our life and living out a life that most people never experience, no longer being average or accepting the bare minimum, is just our ability to no longer settle, to no longer accept what is not a match to what we want for ourselves. And that comes with a lot of sacrifices. It comes at a cost, but it is truly so worth it to build a life that you've never seen before. Just because other people downplay their own potential does not mean that we have to accept that for ourselves. And that is a huge part about truly sitting in your own potential and achieving the biggest goals that you've ever had. It is in our ability to stop accepting things that are the opposite of what we want just because the other people around us want that for us. And a lot of times, if the people around us are not cheering us on or wanting us to do more, that is a huge red flag that we need to change the people that we're around, the environment that we're in, and start exposing ourselves to people who are already winning in life, people who are successful, people who are in an environment that doesn't limit them. We deserve to win. We deserve to live a life that most people never experience. And honestly, a lot of what comes with this decision is just no longer fitting in, willing to be different, willing to pursue differently, giving yourself that permission to be misunderstood, for people to not understand why you're deciding on the things that you truly want. None of that really matters. All that matters is your own belief, your own faith in yourself, your ability to trust that the life that you want is going to come from exposing yourself to more, choosing differently, and being willing to let go of everything that has ever been familiar to you. I made this decision myself, and I can truly tell you it is the most rewarding decision that I've ever made. But no, it has not been easy. I have been misunderstood. People have judged me. I've dealt with a lot of challenges and setbacks throughout this process, but I never gave up on myself. I never gave up on my dream. And I knew that if I was dreaming of a life that no one around me was living or already had for themselves, something needed to change. I needed to be willing to go after differently. I needed to give myself permission to want more out of my life, even if no one around me agreed with it or showed me that version of myself. Expansion comes from being uncomfortable. It comes from pursuing things that you're afraid to do, from learning to embrace the discomfort in your life. It takes a lot of courage to be able to go against the standard, to do the opposite of what is expected of you. But everything that we want for ourselves is on the other side of that decision. I am sitting in an apartment in my dream city that I used to dream about having, and it was never going to be possible if I didn't give myself that permission to let go of what I've always known and allow myself to want more. I was not shown this. I was not raised around it. I was never told that this could be possible for me. But I still decided to believe in myself. I didn't give up, and I realized that, you know what? My dream life is worth having, but I know it is going to come at a cost. And I'm willing to take that sacrifice in my life. I'm done settling. I'm done living an average life. I am going to show everyone around me what is truly possible by being the first to believe in myself. This is just your sign that if you want more for yourself, it's possible. It already exists. It's already out there. And it is waiting on you to go pursue it, to go meet that version of you. There are going to be a million things that try to stop you from becoming that version of yourself. You just need to hold on to that vision because it is going to become possible the second that you allow yourself to experience more, to go after more, to change the way you approach your life, to take new action, to do things that you are afraid to do. Stop holding yourself back from a fulfilling life or allowing yourself to live in your own purpose just because the people around you chose to settle in their life. That is one of the biggest things that truly kills dreams, is just other people projecting onto you. And I promise you, the people that are winning in life want you to win also. They will give you the tools to do so once you learn to put yourself in an environment where those people exist, where they are pursuing what they want, where they are being successful. Miserable people will be the first to kill your dream if you allow them to. But if you decide that you just don't care about any of that and that you want to believe in yourself and that you are determined to make what you want for yourself happen in your life, it is going to happen. Give yourself permission to pursue a life that you've never seen before, and I promise you will level up. You will completely change the trajectory and direction of your life. You have to be willing to be bold. And once you do that, everything that you've ever wanted for yourself is going to come, I promise you. Making this decision for myself was the best thing that I've ever done. I have no regrets. I've never looked back, and I've been able to define what is truly possible for myself. I hope this video inspires you to just wake up and choose the life that you want for yourself, to choose yourself again and again, to just give yourself that permission to build a life that you cannot stop dreaming about. You deserve to build a life that the average person never experiences, and that is only going to happen once we realize that it is okay to want that. It is okay to pursue more than we've ever seen or been shown. Wake up and go after the life that you want, and stop caring how other people feel about it, and just decide that I'm going to go after it no matter what is in my way. The opinions of other people do not matter. Start giving yourself that permission to go after more and be the example for other people. Show other people what is truly possible for themselves. Stop holding yourself back from a life that you want to be living. You deserve to want more, but that starts with yourself first. Start being the example, start being the inspiration, and go after a life that you want, even if everything else is against you. I'm on the journey of just always leveling up, choosing myself, and building a life that truly fulfills me. So if you want to reach your potential, then I will see you in the next video.